Welcome to the DragonConTV studio. My name is Will Burkhalter, and I am here to give you updates and exciting information from around the con. Shortly, I'll be chatting with Scott M. Jones. He's the director of the Electronic Frontiers Forum track. We'll see if he's got any other tongue twisters for me there. And of course, we want to highlight today the Robert A. Heinlein Pay It Forward blood drive. It's an incredible partner to DragonCon, and you can give the gift of life, which is huge, by donating blood and plasma at the DragonCon blood drive. DragonCon is a major donor for Life South, which serves more than 40 hospitals in the Atlanta area alone and more than 150 hospitals in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. So your donation has a direct impact on someone else's life. All right, we're here to welcome our guest, our wonderful, fantastic director of the Electronic Frontiers Forum track. This is Scott M. Jones. Scott, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much.
Great to have you here. So let's get started with my very first question. What is the Electronic Frontiers Forum track?
Okay, so the track is one of the nonfiction tracks. We cover the intersection of technology, law, society, and activism. Okay. These together, which basically means we bring the attorneys, the activists, and the technologists all together to talk about our society and where we're going with our society and where in our technology as well.
That sounds like a lot going on there. How did the track itself get its start?
So we started as the Hacking 101 panel, just a single panel back in the 90s. It goes back quite a ways. I think it was 97, and then the track started in 99 itself. So it's been around a while. It just had its 25th anniversary.
Oh my goodness, they can drink now.
Yeah, it can. Well, maybe it has been already, but yeah, actually, so it started out of the hacking community in Atlanta, and the hacking community in Atlanta grew into the information security community that we had, where we had a single company that kind of blossomed into 20 different companies and grew out of that. So we grew up in that culture, and we've always been kind of connected in these two camps, the information security camp and the activism camp too, as well, as we, as there were some concerns even back in the 90s about how our constitutional rights look with some of the technology changes that are coming down the pike or that were coming at that time.
And they come so quickly.
Yes, and we still have these today. So
that's amazing. That's awesome. Is the Electronic Frontiers Forum track? See, I have the tongue twister down now. Is it related to the organization of the same name? Because you both cover technology, law, and society.
There is an Electronic Frontier Foundation. We are technically independent from that organization, but we have worked with them since the late 90s to actually come out and have somebody, come out and speak on these topics. The term Electronic Frontiers was kind of a generic term back in the 90s, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation themselves was trying to set up local organizations, not chapters, but independent organizations around the country. They're continuing to do that today without the Electronic Frontier name, but they do it under something called the Electronic Frontier Alliance. So we have groups around the country, and there is one in Georgia. It's called Electronic Frontiers Georgia. But you don't hear the Electronic Frontiers name in the newer organizations. Okay. Electronic Frontiers Georgia goes back to the 1990s, but the newer organizations will have a different name.
That's awesome. And I imagine that a lot of the participants in the track and volunteers are part of that community as well.
Yes, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
There's so much crossover. And between that and the activism community and the information security community, you see a lot of crossover.
That's awesome. Are there any panels this year you're especially excited about that the track is presenting?
Well, we do have. There's a lot of interest in artificial intelligence. We do have two.
Is that something that's happening now? I feel like it's everywhere, right? You go to Google doesn't use its algorithm anymore. It's using their Gemini, I think, is their AI that they're using.
Yes. Well, it's hard to talk about technology these days and not talk about artificial intelligence. Yeah. So AI is very dominant in our mindsets these days.
How is AI in the today and now different than some of the science fiction we've seen, like The Matrix or whatnot? Is there a difference in how AI is being presented, or?
Well, I think that the science fiction was trying to extrapolate where we were going.
Okay.
But I don't know that they got all the details right, but they got a lot of the major societal concerns Right. So today's artificial intelligence is knowledge based, but we haven't really determined how to model judgment and reason and that sort of thing. And you don't get
Okay.
to a tipping point where you have a certain amount of knowledge that suddenly becomes reasoning. But a lot of the concerns, like, are we being replaced by AI? Yeah, science fiction was doing that decades ago, and it's very relevant today.
So we could actually be in the Matrix and not even know it, is what you're saying.
Well, I need to check the plug on my back. Give me a minute here.
There we go. There we go. Now, what current topics are we going to hear about this year? What panels do you all have going on?
Okay, so with the artificial intelligence, how AI is aiding the immigration crackdown. That's on Saturday at 4 o'clock.
That's a heavy topic there.
That is.
Yeah.
And AI chatbots and privacy, as you're making a request to artificial intelligence, you're getting information from it, but you're giving information to it, and it can save all of that in its model. So you have to think about that, and you have to think about it's a two-way flow of information, and it's going in both directions.
That's a good point to make. So it probably knows when I'm shopping for cookies exactly what kind of chocolate chips I need.
That's why you get the exact recommendation and the brand name.
There we go. I love it.
Time.
I love it. And do you find a lot of your panelists and attendees are also interested in science fiction, thinking about how technology continues to develop?
There's a huge crossover there. Going back to Star Trek, Star Wars, any of that. A lot of the issues that we're seeing today, they were, if not perfectly, at least fairly accurately forecast by a lot of the science fiction. And so we go back and we look at science fiction to see how well, kind of how well it did. We're kind of like at the point where we validate it or we don't validate it.
Oh, wow.
But we actually, we do have another panel where we're going to talk about privacy policies. And that's going to be on Saturday night. But since privacy policies are a dry topic, we decided we'll do a thought experiment and we'll write a privacy policy for the transporter in Star Trek.
Oh, wow.
So just imagine where you could go and where you shouldn't go with a transporter.
Oh my gosh.
So,
you're talking DNA, you're talking like a ton of privacy.
Yeah, there's a ton of privacy issues right there. And so I wasn't sure if anybody would want to speak on that topic, but I put it on the topic list and I put it out there, and suddenly I had a full track. I had more people than I could use. So
that is awesome.
So that's going to be very interesting. And we do have some privacy-focused organizations coming here. Electronic Frontier Foundation and others.
It sounds like you have a packed weekend full of stuff going on.
We do.
Oh, that's great. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join us here and to talk about your panels and, of course, the track as a whole. If there was one panel that you would say someone should try to get into your track, what would you recommend?
Well, I'm going to give you the one for the hands-on experience. We're going to have a Learn to Hack workshop. So if you're new to hacking, if you're curious about it, if you're interested in it, we have this workshop on Saturday, 2:30 to 6:30. It's in Marriott A601 602. And it's the kind of thing where you don't have to spend the whole 4 hours there. You just drop in anytime during that time period. Come in when you want to, leave when you want to. The longer you stay, the more you can learn. But you'll have the hands-on experience there.
Saturday, 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Yes, in Marriott A601 602.
That's great. Scott, thank you for joining us. It's been great to have you here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate you. There's still time to sign up for the DragonCon Hustle. This is the annual virtual 5K, and this year's medal is straight from a galaxy far, far away. The medal is inspired by the award Princess Leia gives Han and Luke in A New Hope, and it spins. Seriously, this medal spins. So go ahead and walk that 5K, earn your place in the rebellion. Every step supports our charity partner, NAMI Georgia. That's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we are matching donations to them up to $150,000 this year. So please, donations are huge. We greatly appreciate that, and the DragonCon Hustle is a great way to donate. And that medal is just out of this galaxy. You're going to love it. So thank you for watching. Until next time, we'll see you soon.